Okay, y'all. We're going to talk about how communities change over time. And we've learned about a community. Community is the area that you live in instead of Jackson. Ella, don't sound like a deadbeat, make sure you put your lips. We've talked about how communities like we live in. So today we're going to learn about the Venn diagram, which we'll talk a little bit about. And with the Venn diagram, we compare two different things. Here's one thing, and then this area in here in the middle is what they have in common. So, but we're going to work on y'all retelling the story too. Y'all going to tell me what happens at different parts of the story, and this will help us retell, okay? So we're going to read the Lorax by Dr. Seuss. How many of y'all seen the movie? You've never seen the movie The Lorax, Jason? Zoe, I know you've seen the Kaylin, have you ever seen the movie The Lorax? You've never seen the movie The Lorax. Okay. Layla, you've never seen the movie with the Lorax? Well, good. All right, your chance there. What we're going to do, Miss Hicks has seen the movie. I love The Lorax. And it's got one of my favorite quotes ever in it. And it goes with the story and with the community, and it also goes with life in general. So, we're going to read it, and those of you that have watched the movie can tell me the difference in the book and the movie, okay? Or sit down. Okay, so, have you ever heard of the Lorax? Those of you that have never seen the movie? Okay. All right. At the far end of town, where the geeky grass grows, the wind smells slow and sour when it blows. No birds ever sing except old crows in the street of lifted Lorax. So, looking at the picture, is that somewhere you want to live? No. If it smelled and there wasn't anything growing. Okay. And deep in the geekle grass, some people say if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. So they're saying that this is where the Lorax was at. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the end of town where the geekle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. So, in this old rickety house, the Onceler lives here. So, let's look at it and see what it says. Uh-oh, I see him. Y'all see him? Okay. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock on his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in the lurkum under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of nickel-muttered moose. What you need to do? You've seen the movie? Now that you've seen it, you know what it is? Okay. What is a muffled moose? Would you want clothes made out of a muffled moose? No. That don't even sound soft, does it? What is it, Zoe? You think it's something pretty cool? You think so? If it's a moose, it might be a hat. It might be a hat. All right, let's read and see. All right, on a special day at midnight in August, he peeks out of his shutters, and someone he speaks and tells him how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. So he's not willing to do it for free. You have to pay him. At the end of the rope, he lets down a tin pail. If you toss in 15 cents and a nail and a shell of a great grandfather snail. How would you know a snail was a great grandfather? I don't know that either. That's weird. That is pretty weird, isn't it? All right. Then he pulls up the pail and makes most careful to count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole that his glorious love. So look, he's got a finger that's got a hole in it. I guess it'll close back up where he puts all of his 15 cents, his nail, and his great grandfather's snail shell. So I don't know what it, then he grunts. I will call you by a whisper when we phone for the secret I'll tell you for your ears alone. So he's got a secret phone that he's going to tell all this stuff. All right, he's letting it down, see? All right, slurp. Down slurps the whisper on the phone to your ears, the once-were whispers, and not very clear since they have come down through snarly hose, and he sounds as if he's smallish beady up his nose. So what a smallish beady? So would he sound kind of like this right here? You think it'd sound like that, or would he be really, really loud? If you had a bee up your nose, would you be able to talk good?
No.
So your nose would sound stuffed up, so he might sound like this right here. You know, when we're out here on the playground, we've got that one thing you can talk in one ear and then somebody can hear you out on the other. And so maybe like that. Now I tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorix got lifted and taken away. It started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back when, in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean, and the songs of the swarming swans rang in space. One morning I came to this glorious place. I first saw the trees, the truffle of trees, the bright-colored troughs on the truffle of trees. These are the truffle of trees, and these are the troughs. The bright-colored troughs on the truffle of trees, miles after miles in the fresh morning breeze. So do you think he was happy with what he saw? Yeah, they're up here. You can get some off my desk either way. All right, and under the trees, I saw brown barbarous boos frisking about in their barbarous suits as they played in the shade and ate truffle of fruits. So the truffle of fruit trees have truffle of fruits. Would y'all try that? I would try it. If I tried it, would you try it?
Yeah.
Laura would. Kaylin, you wouldn't?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
All right. From the rippleless pond came the comforter sounds of the humming fish humming while splashing around. So the fish hum. Do we have humming fish? We got humming birds, but do we have humming fish?
No.
Good. All right. But those trees, those truffle of trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of the truffles was much softer than silk, and they had a sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leap of joy in my heart, and I knew just what to do. Unloaded my cart. So he's throwing all of his stuff out of his cart. Now, is it like it is in the movie so far?
No. Yes.
To a point it is, because when he gets there, he throws his house up, don't he? He unloads it and it just goes poof, right? All right. Well, maybe that's what it looks like here, too. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Oh, he had built it, so this one he had to build. Then I chopped down the truffle trees with one chop, and the great skillful skill, and with great speed, I took off the soft truff. I needed a sneed. Anybody ever seen a sneed in real life?
Yeah.
I've not seen a sneed. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongue. I speak for the trees, sir, at the top of my lungs. He said upset as he shouted and putted, what's that thing you made out of my truffle of tuff? So he's curious to what that thing is too. Because look, it's got two neck holes, and then it's over here, and it's all wobbly. Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I just chopped down one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. The things in a need find something that all people need. Or complete the shirt. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. but it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. Can you use it for you can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. Lord said, sir, you're crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that full need. Need. Sounds like a weird word, don't it? But the very next minute, I proved him wrong. For just that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the need that I had needed was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lawrence. You poor stupid guy. You'll never tell me what some people will buy. So was he right or is he wrong? Was the Lawrence right or wrong? Right. He was wrong. Here's the because he said nobody would buy that. Nobody would ever want that. But they did, didn't they? A man come along and paid him $3.98. I repeat, cried the Lawrence, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I know that wasn't too nice to say, was it? I rushed across. It's not bad. It's just not nice. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, I built a radio phone, and I put in a quick call. I called my brothers, my uncles, and aunts, and I said, listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Niche. Turn left at Wigan, sharp right at South Stitch. You ever heard of these places?
Yes.
I neither. And at no time at all, in a factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were knitting the need and just as busy as bee to the sound of the chopping of the truffle trees. All right, there was a whole bunch. Can y'all tell the difference? Look, they're chopping them down. So are they losing them?
Yes.
Can y'all tell the difference between the beginning and the end, so the middle so far? Okay. Good. He's built the house and he's built a factory. That's right. He's making it bigger. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now the chopping one tree at time was too slow, so I quickly invented a super axe hacker, which whacked off the four truffle trees at one smacker. Dr. Seuss don't make his books easy to read this with all these rhymes. We were making the knee 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. So he's chopping them off 4 at a time instead of 1 at a time. But the next week he knocked on my office door. He snapped, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I am also in charge of the brown barbaloos who play in the shade of their barbalassoos and happily live eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruits to go around. My poor barbaloos.
Miss Grace,
Yes,
I need St. Louis. Come on, please.
thank you.
Thank you.
We go get some. Hacking my truffle fruit go around. My poor baby blues are getting the crummies because they have gas, no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay.
They still have trees.
They do have some trees, but they don't have a whole lot.
And maybe all the trees are cut down.
They live here, they love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, said, as I watched them all go, but my business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. So they're leaving, right?
Yeah.
Why did they have to leave?
Because he's cutting down where they live.
He's cutting down where they live, but what did they eat? Do you remember what they ate? The truffle fruits. Good, yeah. Oh, look at his business now. He's got them going on. Okay. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my road, I biggered my wagon, I biggered my loads. Of needs I shipped out of, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right bigger, selling the needs. I am biggered my money, which everyone needs. Does everyone need money? Does money make you need money? Yes, ma'am. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pie when that old nuisance Lorax came back with my more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed and puffed. He sneezed and he snuffled and he snarled and he sniffed. Once-ler, he cried with a sarcophagus croak. Once-ler, you are making such a smogulous smoke. My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note, and no one sings who has smog in their throats. So they couldn't look at them. Do they look happy? No, they only got, I thought I started to say it, one only got one eye. All right, and so said the Lorax, please pardon my call. I can't live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape the smog you're smogging or smoke around here. So, has the area changed at all?
No.
It's not?
Yes.
He cut down the tree. So what was the first thing to leave? The bears. And then the swamps, right? Because of the smoke. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his standard was up. Let me a few words about Valley Gup. Your machinery clogged up day and night without stop, making gloopy glup and sloppy scoop. What do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty once-ler, you. So what's he going to show him? What's he done with all this other stuff that he's got left over, right? You're glumping the pond where my humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gum. What does it mean to be gum?
It means that
They're filling the pond up, and they're good gills where they breathe. It's got all that stuff in it too, so they can't breathe. Good. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins, and they'll wander for weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. So things have changed, right? And I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yippity yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm fingering and biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering. Turn more truffula trees into needs, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud smack. From outside the fields came a sickening smack of the axe on the tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. There were no more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncle, my aunts, and everyone all waved goodbye. They jumped in their cars and drove away under the smothered stars. So they left at night. So could you see the stars if the sky was all smoky and smoggy and covered up? Now that we have left near their bad, smelly skies, was that empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said, just give me a glance. Just give me a very, very, very backwards glance. As he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hasted himself and took leave of his place. Through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. So he picked himself up by the seat of his pants and he floated away. All of that Lorax left in the mess was a small pile of rocks with the word unless. Whatever that meant, I just couldn't guess. That long, long ago, but each since day, I have sat here wondering and wondering away. Though the years while building might have fallen apart, I wonder if with all of my heart. So he's trying to figure out what the word unless. But now, says the monster, you are here, and the word the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. So unless you care about your community, unless you care about what's going on, you can't change it. If you just go along with it, is it going to get better? No. So catch this house of Onceler as he let something fall. It's a truffle seed, the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffle seed, a truffle tree, or what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle tree with care. Give it water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends might just come back. So, how is this different than the movie? Did they come back in the movie?
No.
They did. When they planted the truffle tree and they got them, then all of them started coming back. So, at the beginning of the story, who can tell me what happens at the beginning? Okay.
They cut down the tree.
All right, before they cut down the trees, what happened before he got there? You remember what? Do you remember what it looked like before they got there? Go and sit up.
The trees was big.
The trees were there. What else was there beside the trees, Jackson? The fish. What else, Carson? The bear and the swans, right? And the truffle trees. And the air was clean. So, before, what you got? What you got, Cora? You got something? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Before they chopped down the trees, okay? We said that there was clean air, right? All right, what else? We said there was the bears.
And the flowers.
The what?
The flowers.
The swans.
The truffle tree.
The trees.
The fish.
The fish, the humming fish. And the Lorax was there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What was the Lorax's job?
To keep the tree.
To keep the trees and protect the trees and the fish. All right, after the Onceler came, what changed? Who knows what changed?
He started cutting down the tree.
Okay, he cut down the trees, so we didn't have no trees, right? All right, we're going to put no trees, all right? No trees. What else?
He cut down the flowers.
He cut down the truffle flowers, which were on the trees. What else? Was the air clean?
No.
All right, no, we're going to put no clean air, okay? All right, what else? Zoe. No fresh water. I love it. Zoe, good. All right, anybody got something else? Jackson. No what?
Bears.
No bears. Jason, you got one? We said no trees, no bears, no clean air, no fresh water, no swans. Good, Jaden, you got one?
No fish.
No fish. So the Lorax told the Onceler that unless somebody cares an awful lot, that you're not going to change the community. So we done the before we're going to retell the story. So before the Onceler got there, we had trees, we had fish, we had clean air, we had bears, we had the swans, and we had the Lorax. Now, once the Onceler got there, what happened?
He took everything. And he started cutting down trees.
He started cutting down the trees. But once he started cutting down the trees,
He got his own business.
He got his own business. Okay, when he cut down the trees, they didn't have any more what? He got rich. They didn't have any more fruit. So once they didn't have any fruit, what left?
They put animals and bears, fish, and he
He had ruined the fish pond with all the fun. He had ruined the trees because they didn't have any fruit, the crummies in the tummies, and he didn't care. The swans left because there was what in the air? Smoke or smog. Good. Okay. The bears left because of Lorax. And what did the Lorax tell him? That he needed to do what? He told him he needed to cut down the trees or not cut down the trees? Not cut down the trees because the Lorax was the protector of the trees. So, Jackson said it. So, is there anything that right now that they have in common? Not really, other than the once-ler, right? So we could write I got it right here. All right, so the thing that they have in common is the once-ler. The once-ler and the Lorax, right? So that's the two things they have in common. So I'm going to give y'all a notebook. There I am. I'm going to give y'all a notebook, and we're going to put in pairs, and y'all are going to talk about and write down, and y'all are going to do this. So tomorrow, you're going to make the Venn diagram. You're going to make the Venn diagram in the notebook, and then you're going to write these down, and I'm going to pair you up, or I'm going to put 2 or 3 of you together, and we're going to do this. And then tomorrow, we're going to make a T-graph, and we'll learn about a T-graph, which is just a big T, and on one side, I put before and after. But it helps us remember what happens like before they come. What happens next? What happens after that? So I'm going to put you in pairs and y'all are going to work together. So, Ella, I need you and Jay to come right here. Y'all can come up here together. Just turn to the first blank page. I'm going to pull another chair up. Carson and Mr. Jason, y'all go to that table also. I'll get you a pencil. Y'all just want to copy. Layla, you and Zoe. Oh, this works out good. Look at this. It's fine. That's up here. You two sit here. And then Kaylin, I want you and Jackson Freeman right here. Okay? And y'all just want to copy this. What, baby? Oh, I did not give you one day. You got to tell me, man. So tomorrow we're going to build off of this, okay? All right?
Want to start?
Yes, go ahead and start.